So the big question is this. How entrepreneurs like us who have been breaking with old beliefs, like the idea of holding a 9-to-5 job and living paycheck to paycheck, taking a lifetime to reach business and life success as the only option we have? How do we grow our business in a way that lets us highly service our customers, getting our products and services and the things that we believe in out into the world without diluting our life but enhancing it and taking the journey of internal and external growth? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Your host is Marina Simon, and welcome to 10 Exit. Life and business as usual? Never again.
Hi guys! It is so great to be here with you today. Well, I had a blast of amazing experiences recently, and I've been so obsessed about life. And here we are in the middle of pandemic and in the middle of politics and economics. But again, I have to say, keeping an individual viewpoint about life helps so much. And I tell you, it's like putting or using a high-grade fuel on a car or using gasoline with water, right? You have two different outcomes. It's the same when you feed yourself either trash or false data, right? Or things that make your life easier, funner, better, more rewarding, and that you can be in a position to help others more intensively and more wisely. Now, today, there was a little article on, on some of the news that I listened to, and they were talking about a fad now, which is really the fact that not taking care of your body, it's okay, right? Which is obesity. And can turn into obesity because not necessarily. Some people can be slim and still not have good habits to keeping your body healthy. Now, talking 90% of the time, if you put in the news, they're talking about, healthy or not unhealthy, if you got hit by the virus, not hit by the virus, the change in the virus, etc. What I'm saying is, in a way, they're constantly touching the point of healthiness, right? Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about nutrition. What is nutrition? Now, nutrition is something super simple. It is the process, right? The steps, the method of providing, giving, or obtaining, right? The food necessary for health and growth. That's it. That's what nutrition is. Now, I have to tell you, I go to the supermarket, right? Like just a couple of days ago, I was getting to the supermarket, I was getting my groceries, and I was looking for for a kind of food. I get the can and I start reading on the ingredients, right? And I'm like, well, first of all, I have to say the fact that I'm touching a can, that already tells you the story. They have to have some kind of chemicals in it in order to keep it, quote unquote, fresh, right? So I have to say something. When you pick up a can, a container, a package, anything that you want to ingest, right? Normally your fruits and veggies are not going to have that. So you don't have to worry about that. But when you pick anything else, if you see a lot of words on the ingredient, like a whole paragraph, just know that if you cannot even pronounce those words, most likely that particle that you have on your hand is not healthy for your body or your family's bodies. Now, I give you examples of those words, right? You're going to see, first of all, the first ingredients are the ones that have the most amount of in what you're buying. If they're listing it at the beginning, it means that it has a lot of that substance. At the end is the least amounts. Okay, so that's kind of like something that will help you also decide what are you putting in your body. Now, if you hear things like monosodium glutamate, MSG, artificial food coloring, sodium nitrite, war gum, high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, carrageenan, sodium benzoate, I cannot even pronounce them. And that's just a couple of them that you might be reading on your labels. So, now that I'm talking to you about that, look for natural ingredients that you can recognize. At least you know what they are. If you cannot even pronounce them, most likely they're chemically made, right? Now, I ask you something. Would those kind of substances give you nutrition? Right? If nutrition is the process of providing and obtaining the food necessary for health and growth, would that group of ingredients will give you health? Will it give your kids growth? The answer is obviously not, right? So anytime you're going to cook something or put something on your family's mouth, really take a look at what you're doing. Now, it's just a point of prediction for the future. If you're constantly feeding your body trash, what are you going to get? Are you going to get health? I don't think so, right? In these times that we're talking about virus, not virus, I tell you something. If you have a strong system, that will definitely help you. And it's not me saying it. You can, do research with your own doctors, right? If you have a healthy body, you have a higher possibility of continuing being healthy. Right? Or if a bug hits you, it has a smaller possibility of remaining in your body if your defenses are strong, right? Now, another point is exercise. Exercise, you don't have be an athlete if you don't like sports. I'm a sports junkie and I love sports. I couldn't live 1 week of my life without doing something, right? Playing something. But that doesn't mean that everybody likes sports, and it's okay. There's artists, there's all kinds of people that have beautiful passions in life. But I tell you something, the fact that you can put 20 minutes a day, maybe 20 minutes, 3 times a week, at least to move that body and make sure that you keep it movable and workable. Now, I talked to you about originally, I wanted to talk about obesity. So obesity, nowadays you open the fashion magazines, right? And now they're pouring a lot of emphasis on obesity. Listen, obesity can be handled with the right nutrition and with the right exercise. That doesn't mean that you're going to go all out. It means that everything has a gradient. But I tell you something, besides not being the best beauty aesthetically, which it's okay. Aesthetics and beauty is within the beholder of that viewpoint, right? That doesn't mean that they're not beautiful. They can be beautiful, but it turns into a point where also is a difficulty carrying your body around. Imagine if you have a light, fit body, how easier it is to carry around and live life and serve others that you really care for easier than when you're carrying a very, very, very heavy body. So it's something to take a look. I'll give you a story. I've always been sort of fitted throughout my life. There was just 2 times when I was really, really to the point of obesity. And there was one when I was a baby, because we were on the times that we thought that healthy babies needed to be very fat, right? So my mom believed in that, and I look at it and I have three necks folds, It's amazing. I don't know how did I used to move that little baby body. And then the next time was a time when I messed up my hormonal system, because hormones can also play tricks on you, but again, they can be fixed. And I used to always be an athlete. It came into a point where I couldn't really do much because I was exhausted. My health was not good. I messed up my hormones doing stupid things across my life. And I'll share with you what I did, right? So it's not a mystery. One of the things is I used to have acne. So I took contraceptive pills, right, for regulating my hormones. But I was 13 years old, guys, and I took it until I was around 30. Imagine that, almost 15 years of contraceptive pills. Now, I'm not talking about the modern ones. I'm talking about the old times that they were very heavy. They were very, very heavy. So that messed up my system. The other thing is, I used to have always trouble with my throat, right? Infections, when I was a kid. And they used to give me a lot of antibiotics. That kind of destroyed my system a lot. And so when I was in my 30s, I decided I was going to go cold turkey. I wasn't going to take these pills anymore, right? I'm like, enough with this. I don't need these pills. This is not good for my body. It's constant hormones. So I dropped them, guys. I'm not going to joke to you. I went up 30 pounds. 30 pounds. And I'm short. I'm not that tall, right? So 30 pounds kind of like are heavy. And my health starts to go down, right? And of course, my clothes didn't fit anymore, right? I felt heavy. I feel exhausted. I remember my mother coming and visit me. I was, we went to the mall. We went to buy some stuff for her. And all of a sudden, half the mall walk, I say, hey, Mom, I need to rest a little bit. Why don't you continue? My mom was like, her wide eyes told me the story. It's like, what is happening here? Right? She was all active and I'm like, puffing and puffing. So I guess my story is, guys, do your research. Don't buy all the information. Don't eat all the information. Don't consume all the information that is out there. Be able to observe. Be able to look what it is true from what is not. I'm going to do another podcast on false data and true data, right? Because it's very different. And nowadays we're swimming on all kinds of information that sometimes you don't know what way to go, right? Put the vaccine. No, don't put the vaccine. You're going to get COVID. No, you're not going to get COVID. You can die of COVID. No, you cannot die of COVID. And you're like, okay, I can't live this way. It's like contrary data constantly. How do I know what is true from what is not true? So stay tuned. I'm going to give you another episode of this. Well, listen, I hope this helps. Just to finish my story, I decided to do something about it. I knew that I was not going to last too long if I continue the same way I was going. And I find a way. I did trial and error until I find the way to get my body back in health. I start shedding pounds like crazy. And then I start taking up exercise again. And that's my story. And since then, I've been trying to really, really keep to eat clean. That doesn't mean that you cannot have here and there, things that you really love. Because, hey, it gives you pleasure. Pleasure is good. But you can also regulate that pressure, right? Because sometimes it becomes addictive. And that's the point when it's not good, right? Because it really affects the condition of your body. So there you have it. I hope you're having a beautiful day, or even better, you're creating one.
Thanks for joining us today on 10 Exit. Life and business as usual, never again. We love always hearing from you. Please feel free to send Marina an email, marina@marinasimonbrand.com. Your input and comments are always welcome, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you like the podcast, you can always subscribe to it. Remember, the best way to predict the future is to create it.